Good morning, everybody. It's 8:22 on a Friday morning, and we're carrying on with this not a speed run. So, yeah, I've not been on top form over the last few days, having given up the coffee, and I'm going to carry on with this English idea. Okay. So we have the opportunity to capture on d5. It seems to make sense to do so, seeing as that's really the whole point of playing this move. Right, so knight c3, like in the Scandinavian. So the Scandinavian would be that I play e4, d5, we take with the central pawn, and the queen comes out. We can now hit the queen with tempo. So we are already slightly better, I would say, because we've got two central pawns, whereas black only has the one. Now, nobody's at present trying to gain control of the centre with pawns, and we probably should. So, knight f3 seems like a sensible move. Yep. And then we can think about sticking our pawns in the centre. Okay. Can't play e4 right now because it's got two eyes on it. It's got bishop and queen. Knight d4 immediately hits both, which I like. So then the question is, if I play this move, what's my opponent got? Well, he needs to move the queen. He can't take on g2. So that seems to be the right move to make. I've got every intention of taking out that bishop right now. Queen can't go to any of these light squares because of my knights on the dark squares. Okay, he's not attacking this. He's not threatening that either because I've got control of that. I'm going to take the bishop, make the queen move yet again, and now maybe it's time for e4. Control the centre. There's no checks that I can see. Let's do it. Let's control the centre. Opponent's rated 945 from Egypt. And it feels like we're getting good progress. We've got our two central pawns. Can play the next one out probably on the next move. Don't see why not. It's defended by my queen. It is attacked by black's queen. Bishop could come out here and make itself a tall pawn if it wants to. I can gain another tempo on the queen with the pawn push, but I don't really see the reason for that right now. I could fianchetto this bishop, seeing as this pawn on b7 is weak, and then the rook behind it. I could also play my bishop here to over-defend that pawn, but again, no great reason. Now, is there any benefit in chasing the queen one more time? No, let's progress towards castling, and I think the fianchetto looks nice. If I can get my bishop here, even before I castle, I've got the option of maybe annoy the queen then with an e5 push, and then take here and the rook, so seems to make sense. That's defended. So bishop g2, maybe castles. Opponent's behind in development, needs to get this knight out, needs to get this bishop out. Bishop could come out here with a pin, attacking the defender of e4. I could play like queen d3. Then if bishop takes... I mean, the thing is, this pawn's not actually attacked right now. So if he takes, I capture towards the centre. Putting my queen on d3 makes her the only defender of that and the only defender of that, because the knight's pinned, and a defender of the knight. Bishop g2 now adds another defender to this pawn. so I don't see a problem. So just trying to follow opening principles now. This move is definitely on. Okay, well now that's blocked b7, and there are two attackers on this pawn. e5 blocks the queen from attacking that and comes with tempo. Bishop e3 also adds a second defender to that. So I can't really castle now because it will drop the pawn. Also, black has the option of long castles, which I'm not delighted about. There's still this move actually. Hit the queen, then maybe even take out the knight, double the pawns here, and definitely de-encourage long castles. So what should I do? Develop the bishop, then castle? If I develop the bishop, it gives black time to long castle. So is it time for e5 now? But I'd prefer not to give up this bishop for a knight there. So I'm going to play this move. And double defend this pawn, which is attacked twice. They do have this move. Okay, he's got ideas of short castles. Right, I'm going to castle, I think. Yeah. So now I've practically completed development. Black's not done a bad job in the last few moves of getting his pieces out. Oh, and we have long castles, okay. That then puts 3 attackers on this pawn here. And I only have 2 defenders right now. But this is an idea. Hits the queen, does allow me to take out the knight, mess up his pawns. The queen can't defend that knight in any way. So yeah, I think we can go for that now. Also maybe take out that knight, but that's not as good for me because it semi-opens the G file for black's rook. Okay, what do we want to do here? I think positionally, taking out the knight makes a lot of sense. It isolates this pawn, which is still undefended. Don't see an argument for this. No, it undefends e5 for one thing. Let's take out the knight. I realise I'm leaving myself a bit open on the light squares here, but then black doesn't have a light squared bishop either. Alright, and now what? Queen b3, or even queen a4. Queen a4 is nice. That's a triple fork. 3 undefended pieces. The bishop can't even come back to c5 to defend this pawn. So that gives black a serious problem, I think. Not worried about rook takes here. That's now the only attacker. So yeah, queen a4. And now you've got a real issue. In fact, the bishop's actually trapped. It can take out the knight. That's its only option there. You take the knight, I'll recapture the b pawn. And these two are still at my mercy. The only defense is king b7. Oh. Okay. Now, I have one opportunity to take this pawn. I mean, c6 doesn't really make sense because I can take there as well. Another idea is to bring in this knight. I've got 2 attackers on this pawn. He's actually got 2 defenders. I could hit the bishop again, really force it to capture here. B takes. I hit the bishop, you take, takes, 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 or even bishop takes actually. Alright, Woody. What do I capture here? Threat to check. If I take there, pawn takes here, bishop takes is fine because the queen actually defends that. So I think it's time. I think I have to strike while the iron is hot. Check, king comes here, I can come back with more checks, forcing the king back there actually to c8. Alright, well that's not a real issue. Check, king here. I can take with the bishop. Rook can't take because queen takes rook. I've got two pieces on prees. So is there any value in throwing in this check? King to here, queen back to here. Don't see any value in that right now. So I'm going to take. Got nice open lines. My rooks are ready to come into the game. So what I'd like to do is push the king to here and then have my knight on here and checkmate. Oh, it doesn't checkmate because king can run away to e8. Okay. I can take with the pawn, I can take with the bishop. Taking with the bishop's okay because it adds a defender on the bishop. If I push the king out here now, come back to a4 with check, he can't retreat, I like that. In fact, what's he got? If the queen's back on here with check, he has to push the pawn. Forced. Queen a4 check. I have to recapture the bishop for sure. Queen a4 check, and he can go back to c8. But after that, I guess I can take maybe with the pawn to open up the b file for my rook. He's only got two legal moves, I think. Oh, he's gone for that one. So do I want to open up the d file? The king now has the opportunity to escape there, but if he does, I can capture here. Open up the d file or the b file? It's an important question. I could check here, then the king runs away. Okay, I think I'm going to take with the bishop here. This forces the queen off actually. There I can take the queen, king takes, but I'm only a pawn up after I recapture the bishop. So I'm looking for something a bit more forcing. Here, king moves back, bishop attacks queen. Queen has to come to this square. There. King comes here, it's not good. So queen a7 check, king there. My queen defends this square, so I can put my bishop on that square. Queen has to come out into the board. Then I have to recapture the bishop with this pawn. Don't see anything brilliant here. This pawn might move forwards, but not if the king's here. Okay, let's keep the pawns together. Still have this option. Right, well now, either rook to d1, so I'm thinking rook fd1, queen can't block, king has to go here or onto the back rank. If he goes onto the back rank, it's deadly because I take the rook. So rook here, king here, bishop there with check. Let's figure it out. Rook here. I'm assuming king has to go there. That's my only good check. King then is blocked off. I'm going to play this for sure because I want to own this open file. I think king has to go here. Yeah. Now if I give check, all these squares are out. And this one. So he's got to go to one of these. He also really wants to defend this pawn because my queen can take. It might give up the bishop, it depends if it comes with check. So if he goes here, I can take with check. Queen can't block because the bishop's there. Depends where he's going to go. Check here with the queen. Then the king can't go there. I also like this, hit the queen and then lodge my bishop into that square. King goes here, that's good. Probably do this anyway. Okay, he's gone on the back rank. I hit the queen. I think that's compulsory now. Queen comes to here. I do have f4. Maybe that. It's threatening to come in and check. Could end up just ladder mating him on the side of the board. This is generally a good move. Really lock my bishop into an outpost defended by a pawn, and it defends the pawn in return. Okay, not threatening that right now. Maybe rook comes across, harasses the queen. Still not too bad. My bishop's not doing a lot right now. I think this just looks like a really good square for it. A rook over here. Not sure which one. This pawn is undefended, so I want to attack it next. Okay. I go there. Even if you take here, I've got that. King goes here. I'm not sure. Right, knight's kind of out of the picture right now, but he's defending. Could just push this pawn up. It's defended then by the bishop and the pawn. Yeah, he's not threatening to take the bishop. Actually, his knight might come in here with checkmating idea. Okay, he's coming after the bishop. I was concerned his knight might come in here with a checkmate threat. He's not seen that. Just go queen here. You take that, queen blocks. The queen here. You take, I've got pawn takes. It's still doing a similar job. It's controlling this square in front. Even got rook takes, actually. Rook takes, rook takes. But I like pawn takes because then I have this and the queen can't block, right? Not worried about f2. Queen could come here and defend this pawn. I'm still only a pawn up. The pawn hanging there, he's defended that. Okay, well I think that was too slow. Because now he's only got 2 legal moves. That loses, or he's got king here. And now, is it rook ac1? If I check there, queen has to take. Rook ac1 has to be played. Even if I go here, queen takes. Feels like I should have had more of an advantage at this point. But I've got 2 passed pawns. If I take the queen, king takes. Got rook here, gets the rook onto 7th. That's good. Oh, there. Queen takes. No, I like this one. I like getting the rook on 7th. This rook's a bit out of the game. Next move is forced. King's got 3 moves. Either way, I'm going to start gobbling pawns up, I reckon. My objective here is just to get the win, so that pawn's defended. His king might come and try and attack it. I have this. Okay, still I have this. Then he has to come onto this rank, which means he's forced there. Got that as well, and then the king comes forwards. So I gobble the pawn first. I'm up 3 pawns, I could be up 4 pawns. His rook might come here, targeting this pawn a second time. Now I think we'd go after the king. I think that's more important. Push him over here. Okay, all there. And now rook here isn't an issue, so I'm going to snatch this pawn while I've got the opportunity, because the king's blocking the 6th rank. I can attack the rook. Does his rook want to come into the 2nd? Maybe. My king defends that one. Here, rook takes. Nope. I think I'll just come onto here. Snatch these pawns if I can. There we go. Okay, well after taking this one first, which is important, I still have 2 rooks defending that pawn. I can now snatch this one. I don't see why I shouldn't do that now. Right, I've got all the pawns. If I can sacrifice this one in order to get a rook trade, I'm alright. But I can also just push B and A, I think. If he comes here, he's blocking his own rook. If he comes here, his king can't be a third attacker, so I'm just going to start pushing these pawns up the board. Yeah? This is something I'm really working on at the moment. Is winning positions. And he's resigned. Okay. Well then, well, good game. Oh, he wants a rematch apparently. Shall we? Why not? Okay, queen there. We'll go Indian. Is it this? No. So he's playing London style. Can I go there? Is it that? No, there's a horrible line, isn't there? Let's try it. I can't remember the line. That's the only problem. I know there's a line, but I don't know what it is. So his bishop drops. No, I don't like that. I'm having that bishop. Having that bishop. Right, we've now got a semi-open file. We've got double pawns. He's taken away from the centre. I can still fianchetto this bishop. Get castled, get developed, get to work. Right, that hits the undefended pawn. Now the bishop's blocked the queen's view of the pawn. Oh no, he's pushed it, and that loses a rook. That is pretty bad. Now, castling that way, he doesn't have a dark squared bishop, but I've got to be worried about any pawns getting to here. This queen getting in. His queen is actually now looking at my rook, but I am up material. I'm up an exchange and a pawn. So do I castle anyway? I've got to save the rook. Let's castle anyway. I've got to be careful. His queen's on the diagonal of doom. Could think about trying to block that somehow. I'd like it if he blocked this diagonal, this long diagonal, with one of his own pawns. Or do we just now immediately just try and break through while he's not castled? Hello, Sasha. Could also fianchetto this bishop. I could push here. Doesn't really do much blocking this pawn off. But here, e6 takes, even take with f. Targets this pawn, opens up the middle. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to tread water a bit and develop this bishop. Okay, well you can't go there because I'll just take. I'm not afraid of that. I can fianchetto. This pawn's undefended. Is c4 going to come? Oh! Okay. Right, I am capturing towards the centre here. I feel like a pawn blockage will be to my benefit. Just got to watch out for that nasty, naughty queen. Even try and trade off if I can. f6 is a thought. If he takes here, take here, maybe lift my king. I should be kind of safe in that. Wait. Yeah, take you out for a walk in a bit. Right, white's castled. I can eliminate the knight at any point. But he's got a spare knight to replace it. He hasn't got to take back with the cheap one. I can't really see. Can't really see Sasha. If I push here and he pushes, happy days. I mean, there is a checkmate threat if the queen can get to here. So maybe it's not that happy days. Push here, takes. His knight can't come in. Push. Go on, let's try it. Get down, please. Get down. Go on. I think I also have time even just to wriggle my queen in to the position. He's got one opportunity to take here. If he doesn't, I've got g5. Oi! Give over. Go and do it somewhere else. Go on. Check. I have block. We'll just lift. Block, bishop moves. I get this move in. Which really does kind of block up the position. However, I'm also... Sasha! Go somewhere else. So bishop moves somewhere. Or just king here. And that's pretty safe. Now, how's he going to get his queen in front of that bishop? That doesn't work. And he can't come in with mate anyway because rook defends. So I think my king's all right there. I've got a trick here as well, queen c7, because this bishop is defended only by the knight on d2, so's this. So if I take this one, he can't take with the knight because the bishop falls. Or queen c7 or queen c8, probably queen c7. So if I take here, he has to take back with the g pawn, triple isolated pawns on the f file. And that ain't good. But he does have threats. Go on, out. Go on, out. Do not send me away, Daddy. Now, what's the idea there? Defending the bishop. I can still hit the bishop with this pawn. I can get my knight out. That's not a bad move. Bishop can't come here or here because the rook's guarding. Can't come here because pawn takes. Knight e5, it's centralized. If he takes, I can take with one of my d pawns. And that's surely even more forcing. Triple fork. He hasn't got time to take here if that's his plan. And I think the bishop's going to fall. I think the bishop is the key piece here. Okay. Right, he's saved his bishop. Okay, that doesn't work. Pawn defends g6, so queen takes g6 isn't mate. Could simply put my queen on e8. I can also hit the bishop out the way. You go there, I go here, push you back. Yeah. I mean, he'd like to get his knight to here, wouldn't he? But he can only go via that square right now. I think I've got time to do this. Let's try and neutralize this bishop. He's not gonna checkmate me with a queen. He's got to involve one of these. So let's try and keep them out of the game. So putting pawns on light squares will annoy both the knight and the bishop. I could even put my queen here and then push this, force the queens off. If I can force the queens off, I'm good. But he wants to take, doesn't he? He wants to take there. So I think I have to put in the pawn push now. Bishop wants to come around here now, because this pawn's pinned. What if I just push g5? Go on, out, you two. Out. Having 7 dogs in the house as well doesn't lend itself to peak chess performance. Now here, you bring your bishop there, I just take the pawn. And I still have the option of g5, using this pawn as a shield. I still have it queen e7, sorry, queen e8, which I quite like. But I think this move now, he comes in, I just ignore, take this pawn. Oi! I know, you need a walk, I know you do. But the boys and girls are waiting. Go on. Fuck off, you fuck. Go on, both of you. Bloody huskies. Okay, he's taken. Taken with the pawn. Okay, bishop comes in here. Oops. But I have queen e8. I also have this. With a tall pawn. Might stick my queen here, might stick my rook here. In fact, rook here is pretty damn good because it just forces the bishop away. The pawn can't defend, so let's queen defend. No, that don't work. Queen defends here. That don't work. Right, he wants to come around this way. He's really trying, isn't he? Is it time for e5 now then? Shut the knight out completely. Yeah, what's my opponent's plan? And what's critical? Is it more important to stop my opponent's ideas or to push mine? And there's no right answer. You have to make that decision move by move. So I'm liking this now. The knight can't come in and harass. The knight is actually just out of the game. It's going to have to come around this way, but then again it's out. So we've neutralized the knight. Neutralized. That's what you are. Okay. Is it time for bishop f5? If pawn takes, maybe just. Or do I just get the hell out of dodge? Well, I can't do that right now because that's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Okay, what if we annoy the bishop? Can't go back here because I've got that, right? I know, because he's got then bishop takes. So I think I'm going to bring the queen, am I? Well, I don't know. Push the pawn up. It is a passed pawn. It's really turned the tables. Then he just puts his rook here. Here, bishop here. No, then I'll just take it. Okay. Right, counter. I'm going to counter. I'm going to say, get your attackers out of my face. Okay, right, we're swapping off. That's it. Right, I'm up in material. And without that bishop, you've got nothing. The knight is currently frozen out. I'm not going to take here and invite his rook into the action. I could play queen c8, try and trade off the queens. She can't go there, there. So queen c8, she retreats. I'm then targeting the c2 pawn. I'm also maybe thinking about coming in here, but then pawn takes there. I might just take out the c2 pawn. Maybe start some attacking ideas of my own. Okay, are we safe now on the king side? I think we're looking good. I take there, pawn takes, queen takes. I've only got one check, but it don't work. It's got to be, isn't it? Yeah. Right, I'm now up and exchanging 3 pawns. Right, have a check. I think that wins the knight as well, because the knight can't block. Oh, decent move. Go away. I'm trying to win. You know how hard that is. Right, this wins a pawn, surely. He can block with the knight or the rook. I get the pawn. I'd like to engage my other rook, actually. Is there a threat here? No, well, the rook's pinned, look. Oi! Get gone out, both of you. You're annoying me now. Okay, I think it's time for the other rook to come in. I think this is grown up. Grown up chess. Yeah. This is pinned. This then forces someone to block here. Oh, he's disconnected. Sasha, will you stop scratching? I know you've got lots of little bits in you, haven't you? Jesus, the thing's out. Right, he's disconnected now. He knows he's lost the second game, I think. Go on, shut the door now. So, we have to wait a minute 12, and then we can analyse. That was an interesting tactical tussle. So flow rate 0-0 was a good sport on that game, but on this one he's not been a good sport because he's just logged out, which don't make sense. So the idea is this, right? And assuming I'm allowed to do it, I mean, he might play knight here to stop that. But then I guess this. Rook blocks. I can't take the knight. That's probably his best move there. Still 30 seconds. But if I get this in, the king can't move out. He has to block with knight or rook. And it can't be the rook. It has to be the knight. So then rook takes knight. King takes maybe. Here. Knight blocks. I don't know. I don't know what the finish is. My powers are weak. My powers are weak, old man. Yeah, that wasn't the best, but let's grab the old PGN and I'll see you on the analysis board. Okay, so here we are now, and the dogs have decided to go into the room above me and start fighting up there instead. And bark. Okay, 81-4. Quite happy with that. Now you can see in the middle of here, I was doing well, and then let him back in momentarily. Okay, but this is what happens. You know, you watch World Championship games, and the same thing happens, right? Of course, they're not playing 1000s. Okay, so let's follow it through. Hang on, let's flip the board. Okay, that's a good move. But d5 would have been better, okay. And that's the best move. Okay, so we've already damaged his structure. Best move, fianchetto, and that's a blunder. And there we go, yeah, we see this as a trapped rook. Best. Okay, so we're doing great here. That wasn't right. Loses me half a pawn. It's going to say developing move. No! Wow. Just tying that side of the board together on the dark squares. The rook's got all the dark squares. The king can castle maybe the other side of the board. Okay, so they develop. And this is now a mistake. Looking off the pawn. Okay. But I did that. This is a miss. Because... Okay, he could have started the attack, yeah. Down that side. Yeah, I knew it was a bit risky castling there. And that wasn't best. Well, that's quite an unintuitive move. He's got two options to en passant. That's not best. Best move was... Wow, bring the knight out. And that's a mistake. Taking the knight out. Wow. Because he had an option here, which was... Okay, eliminating. But he is worse now at this point. So where are we? Okay. And from then on, it's really down to tactics. Right? I kind of evaluated that although my king side is definitely weakened, the threat was never quite enough because he simply didn't have enough material after blundering his rook early on to finish the job. So from this point on, it was a bit of a walk-in, but we avoided a Hunty special oh no my beer moment. So I'm quite pleased about that. 2 from 2, that'll do me. Thanks for watching. See you later.